Good evening and welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Hopefully joining me tonight is Aguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican, Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker, and my cousin Todd. We have a full show for you tonight if we can get it all in. Judge ordered Rudy Giuliani to turn over his Manhattan apartment to Miss Ruby. Birth control is on the menu as the Biden administration proposes a rule to make over the counter birth control free for everyone. CNN reports that elderly dementia patients are unwittingly fueling political campaigns. A CNN investigation reveals how deceptive political fundraising has misled elderly Americans into giving away millions of dollars to both the Democrats and the Republicans. NASCAR with Steven. And what four congressional races will decide if the next president has the power to pass legislation that they hope to pass? The Yankees finally won the ALCS and on to the World Series. There are 14 days, count them, 14 days left until Election Day for Congress and President of the United States. And congratulations to the WNBA World Champions, the New York Liberties. Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, age 91, would be one of the oldest senators to ever chair a committee if former President Trump wins the election. Is the Senate concerned about his age? And NFL Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua faces concussion concerns. How did your team do this week in the NFL? United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken urges Israel to capitalize on Hamas's leaders' killing to end the Gaza war. Arnold Palmer's daughter reacts to Donald Trump's references to her father, and the 2025 IRS tax brackets are here. They've changed a bit. Where do you fit? As President Obama says, there are a few good players on Deion Sanders' Colorado football team and college football. Did you see former President Trump serve as a cashier at McDonald's? And more, if we can fit it in. Stephen isn't here, so Keith, it's just you and me. I can't believe it. Cousin Todd isn't here, Stephen isn't here, Aguna isn't here, just you and I. We will start with let's start with Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
All
We
right,
can.
how about that? Just a second. Let me play this, and we'll talk about it. All right, that was according to the New York Post, and of course, it had no sound, but it said that the judge has forced former Mayor Rudy Giuliani to hand over in judgment his New York apartment to Miss Ruby and her daughter for settlement for the defamation case for them to collect on their win. There's nothing much, Keith, that he can do about that in the next 7 days. You know, people wonder, well, can he file an appeal that will take place or will put a hold on him turning over that apartment to Miss Ruby. And according to what I've read, he's not going to be able to do so. He's not going to have enough time. I think, he lost the case, right? The defamation case to Miss Ruby and her daughter. So now it's time to pay up. But the question is, will it be enough? Keith.
Well, it's never enough with the left. They always require blood. So it's never enough. Not with them. They're going to just keep on going after him and keep trying to suck him dry, of blood, like vampires. But, I really think it's an injustice to take so much from him. Because remember, I think excessive bail is the Eighth Amendment talks about excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. Well, I think this is a bit cruel and unusual to go after so much. So that's just my opinion.
Well, I don't know if it's like they're going after so much. He was awarded a certain amount, and that his home in New York would fulfill the amount that he is awarded. Therefore, it's not that it's too much. It's more so that, that's to pay off what he lost. He lost and he needs to pay that off.
Well, take a man's home from him. Okay, that's fine with some people, but not with me. That's just,
Well, I
my
don't
own
think it's
opinion.
so much to take his home. If he could pay it, he could, liquidate his home. He could sell his home, right? Buy another home, take the money from the sale, and pay what he's owes from losing that case.
Well, if they let him
don't
do
have to
that.
take his home. But he didn't do that.
Yeah, well,
That's
I
not
don't
what he
know.
did.
Well, we'll see. There's
Cousin
no
Tosh,
Yes.
telling.
you're late.
Okay. Well, I disagree with everything Keith said, and I'm not even sure of the topic.
Well, if you
Well,
look at
that's
the
a bit
bottom of the
ignorant.
screen, we're talking about Rudy Giuliani
Mm-hmm.
and how he lost to Miss Ruby, and the judge ordered him to pay up. And if he can't pay, he's going to have to hand over his
That's right.
New York
Properties.
apartment,
Yeah.
his property to her for payment of, the judgment that
That's
is
right.
due them.
I think that's fair. And I think he should
Accurate.
have to. Yes, absolutely. This is typical of when you have slandered a person and you're sued and you continue to lie on them for well over a year. Well, then something's got to be done about that, where she was threatened. Anyway, we all know about what happened to her and her daughter. And so, yes, he should have to pay.
All right.
All the slanderers of Trump. Oh, boy, that would be great if it was equal justice.
Well, we're not talking about Trump right now. We're talking about somebody that looks like your mother. That's why you don't want to discuss it. You'd rather move to a white boy. Nevertheless, we're talking about Miss Ruby, who has been done dirty by these sick Republicans, her and her daughter. So that's what we're talking about today. You have anything to add? What should happen to Giuliani? Should he go to jail?
He already started. He already added, Todd. And Todd, I've asked you nicely multiple times not to talk about his mother.
I'm not talking about his mother. I'm talking
His
about
wife
Miss
doesn't like
Ruby.
it. Don't attack him. Say like his mother. Just stop it.
Ma'am,
Just stop it.
ma'am, I'm not attacking him.
I just hope the people that are listening can, discern properly. That's all. They'll see. They'll see what you really are about. All about.
Fairness, justice, and the American way.
All right. Let's watch what's going on with this upcoming presidential campaign.
Overnight, former President Trump escalating attacks against Vice President Harris, using expletives to describe her.
We can't stand you. You're a vice president.
Oh.
Into Election Day, Trump
Mm.
Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where he talked about his economic proposals, like wanting to lower taxes for corporations and raise taxes on all imported products.
The word tariff is the most beautiful word in the dictionary.
He also went on several long-winded tangents, speaking for 13 minutes, including using lewd bathroom jokes about his personal relationship with pro golfer Arnold Palmer.
Jokes.
Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women.
Harris ripping into Trump's rallies.
Have you noticed he tends to go off script and ramble?
On the issues, she talked about housing and her pitch to allow Medicare to cover the cost of home health for seniors.
For any of you who is taking care of an elder relative, you know that's about love.
The vice president with some star power on the road, introduced by Usher in Atlanta.
The next president of the United States.
And Lizzo in her hometown of Detroit. The singer making a veiled reference to recent comments from Trump, who seemed to disparage her city.
They say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. Okay? Proud like Detroit.
Wearing a Detroit versus everybody t-shirt, Harris telling her supporters now is the time to leave it all out on the field.
We don't want to have any regrets about what we could have done these next 17 days.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to.
Wow, I wouldn't want the whole country to look like Detroit. Whew. Or Los Angeles.
And wait a minute. Why do you say that?
What? Don't let him hijack you. Let's deal with the clips that you just played. Starting with the first one.
I was dealing with it. She said, about Detroit. She talked about.
So, okay, let's talk about. You made a comment about the last part of the clip, but the overall question is whether or not, where the presidential candidates are in this part of that campaign. We've got 2 weeks left, about 14 days. You have former President Trump, Vice President Harris, and their surrogates going all over the country. Based on what you had heard from Vice President Harris, what did you think about the policies that she promises to enact?
Well, first of all, it's a little confusing as to what policies she's going to enact. She has been stated years ago as saying something that she's saying different today, like fracking, for example. Fracking, she was against. Now she seems to be for it. That's a bit strange there. And that's just that one. That's just one.
All right.
All right. So let me share this clip with you before you go, Todd. I want to share this clip
I wanted to take one thing at a time. He was going to respond to that fracking.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to respond with people grow and change. For example, you thought those people that hijacked the Capitol January the 6th were criminals, and you said they should be in jail. Today, you're saying they are heroes and patriots and should not be in jail. See that? So Donald Trump was for abortion, and then he was against abortion. He was a Democrat, and then he was a Republican, and now he's what? So people change.
Okay. All right. So now she moves towards the middle, towards the right, and that's okay. All right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's different than complete about face like you and Stephen, surprise, he's here, saying that they were criminals.
Here it comes, Stephen.
Who was at the Capitol, breaking and entering the Capitol. First, they were, what did you call them?
We're not going back there. We're not going back there.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. Let's move. Let's be talking. We'll go there when it's time to go there. It's not time to go there now. We don't need the view. We don't need the view opinion of what happened on January 6th. It's coming in time.
Arnold Palmer's
No,
daughter
we're
is
built there
speaking out
now.
today after Donald Trump told a jaw-dropping anecdote about her father's private parts.
This is a guy that was all man.
Trump was paying tribute to the legendary golfer who died in 2016 at a rally in Palmer's hometown, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, when he got downright crude.
When he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God. That's unbelievable.
I don't know what goes through his head.
Peg Palmer says her father would not have appreciated Trump's locker room talk.
Yeah,
it seemed to be like it was a bit of an odd choice, wouldn't you say?
To talk about the showers and my dad's anatomy. I think Trump seems to be fairly obsessed with these things, just like crowd size.
And there's more reaction today to Trump's photo shoot at a McDonald's Sunday.
I'm having a lot of fun here.
He put on an apron and served fries at the drive-thru to troll Kamala Harris, who says she worked at a McDonald's to make extra money while in college. He claims, without evidence, that she's lying.
I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Trump's McDonald's stunt is sparking a flurry of memes. You want lies with that?
Let's get to it. Let's do it.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is campaigning with Republican Liz Cheney today, hoping to win over moderate voters. She celebrated her 60th birthday this weekend, serenaded by Stevie Wonder.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, let's break that down bit by bit. Let's start with Keith and Stephen, then cousin Todd. On the presidential trail, Stephen, you saw that former President Trump was talking about Arnold Palmer. And my question is, do you think that was appropriate considering what his daughter had to say? If you had a child, would you want that? If you had a daughter, would you want her to have to deal with that?
No, I wouldn't. And I'm glad that his daughter doesn't know how enormous he is or whatever it is that Donald Trump was saying. Donald Trump is just being Donald Trump. He's kind of a different kind of guy, kind of an everyday, a knock around kind of guy, kind of like almost like a mobster that never had anybody killed. You know, he's just a different kind of cat. And it is bizarre for him to talk like that. But what it doesn't matter is what he says. It's his actions. His actions speak louder than his words. His actions are great. Anybody can say anything, and they can say all kinds of pretty, flowery words, but they don't do anything. Donald Trump, when he was president, he did a lot of good for this country, for everybody on this show, for all of us. And when he gets in again, if he gets the Senate and the House, he can do a lot more because he won't have people going against him. So this is a really good, positive thing for all of us.
So Keith, would you want your family members to hear someone talk about you or someone they love in that way to the whole wide world, like Arnold Palmer's daughter had to hear, Keith? Do you think that was
it's unfortunate.
of the former president?
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate. No, I wouldn't want that, but I'm not part of the actual culture. The culture of America probably they probably understood it all and they don't care. I mean, the culture is very sex driven and it's sexual driven. You can tell just by the way Todd responds, you know, when he talks about, you know, me and, you know, some relationship between me and another man, like, you know, Stephen, who is my friend. You know, we don't have a relationship beyond our friendship. We are friends and we're two men. But Todd, see, once again, the left is obsessed with sex.
Oh, so, my God.
Trump is just reflecting the culture. They know. Everybody knows when he talks that locker room talk, what he's doing. So there you go.
Okay.
I mean, let's not try to pretend like we don't know what's going on. Like we don't know. We don't understand.
Okay, we don't know what's going on. What we just saw you do is deflect from what Donald Trump said to all of society.
No, I didn't.
Donald
said
Trump
I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, we don't agree with it. We don't agree with it.
No, I didn't agree with it.
No,
I said
but it's just Donald being Donald.
He keeps saying things. I don't know whether you know it or not, but I'm going to explain what you're doing. You're giving him excuses. For example, Keith, your boy Toy just said, that's just Donald being Donald.
See what he just said?
That was a joke.
Yeah,
toy.
boy
Yeah,
toy.
that's what I mean.
Right. That's what it. I know. That's what he's doing is he's projecting. He's projecting because his boy toy is underneath his desk.
Yeah.
So that was a joke because of what Keith just said. So I just made a joke just to anyway. You're making excuses for this crazy person who I believe has dementia.
No, he doesn't. He does not have dementia.
Ma'am, he is talking like he's off the beam. He didn't do this last time, but he's much older now. He, I think he's like scattered. If you ever listen to him, he's saying things like, "Oh, Kamala, she's dumb. She's dumb. She's the dumbest person I've ever seen." Now that is just not sensible.
But
You're
it's
talking
true.
about somebody who is established. Have you ever taken a law class? Do you have a law degree, Stephen? Of course you don't.
See, she bought her law degree on her back. On her back, she bought her law
What
degree.
does that mean? What does that mean, Stephen?
Everything
What does that
she's ever
mean?
gotten, she got from
Tell
being on
me
her
what
back.
that means.
Everything she got because she's a woman. Everything
What
she's
does that
ever
mean?
gotten.
Can you speak English, dumb
What is
dumb?
What's the guy named Willie Brown? Big Willie
Can you
Brown.
speak
Big Willie
English,
Brown
dumb
coming to
dumb?
town and taking care of Carmela. That's all she's ever been. She's been somebody who's been put into positions and not just sexual
What is he
positions,
talking
positions of
about?
power.
What are
She's
you
never earned anything
Okay,
she's ever
stop
gotten.
him, cut him off, and get him off the show because he's going to get you sued. Why would
Get
he
him off the
say
show because he's
Kamala
telling too
Harris
much
is a
truth.
prostitute? This is the devil.
Yes,
This is
she's
a
a
blue-eyed
prostitute.
devil talking
Yes.
about Kamala Harris as a
She's
prostitute.
a horrible individual. She degrades every woman, every woman that's smart. She makes every smart woman degrade.
And look at this nigger coon. Look at that coon. Yeah. Because he's talking about somebody that looks like his mother. That's why he's clapping.
You don't care about color. Only you care about color.
He hates his mother, and that's why he would clap like that when this
Finish
idiot,
your point, Cousin Todd.
this dirty racist idiot is
Keith
calling Kamala
and I
Harris
believe
a
in the human
prostitute.
race, not the black race.
Of course, you wouldn't believe in the black race, you racist idiot. And Uncle Tom.
We
there
believe in
wouldn't
the
either.
human race.
So shut up because I'm speaking, and do not speak over me, coon lover.
Yes, sir.
Now-
I love
now-
a coon. I'm a
yes.
coon lover.
Yes, you
Especially
are.
with barbecue sauce. I love barbecue coon.
Shut him
Woo!
up. He's talking over me.
Tastes
Shut
like chicken.
him up.
Tastes like
Shut
barbecue
up.
chicken.
Shut up, devil.
Sorry.
So now
You're my-
he would have the audacity to call Kamala Harris a prostitute when you're comparing Donald Trump.
That wasn't
to
Keith,
Kamala.
that was Stephen.
Both of them. One is just like the other. How can you tell them apart?
But the color of our skin.
That was a joke.
Right, Keith? The color of our
Keith
skin.
Why?
That's how you can tell us
Making
apart.
a joke. Okay.
If
so
you're
now,
a racist like Todd,
would you shut up?
yes, sir.
Okay, you got to let him finish. Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
He doesn't want to because he's the devil. And now he would have the audacity to, and he got this from Donald Trump. He knows his supporters are dumb, ignorant, uneducated, low information voters, and they just pick up anything he says as if it's facts. Facts do not matter to sick, radical Republicans. This woman has a college degree. She went to an HBCU. Did they just give her a degree? Yeah, she worked on her back, And you're talking about Kamala Harris, an upstanding, beautiful Black and Asian woman, and Black and Indian woman.
No, she Asian. She Asian.
And Donald Trump, who sleeps with porn stars,
She Asian as hell.
who has cheated on every wife he's ever had, and he's had how many? 3, 4, 5?
We don't care.
And I know
Stephen,
you
notice how
don't.
he dismisses
Southeast Asian.
Kamala's relationship with
Let's move
Willie
on. Let's
Brown.
talk about.
She's
Notice how
married.
he
She's married to a
moving down
white
to the
man.
wire.
She don't even
Excuse
like
me.
a black man. She's married to a white man.
Why can you shut him up? I'm not finished.
Stephen, you
Sorry.
gotta stop.
And then he
I'm
keeps
done.
doing
You
this
just
same
said-
crazy stuff. Sorry. Are you high?
As a kite.
Say
Like
no
a Benjamin Franklin kite.
Say
I'm
no
high
to
as a Benjamin
drugs.
Franklin kite
Okay,
Excuse
now
me.
like I was
Okay.
with a key on it.
I want to go on.
You see
Excuse
how
me.
he won't
I want to
stop?
move on.
You cannot
I wanna
because
move
they
on.
talk over me. So no, I'm going to have my say because these demons, these satanic demons talk over
Please
me.
let him talk. I'll
So-
mute. I'm mute.
Look,
Go
look
ahead,
at the
cousin Todd.
devil.
You got Todd, cousin Todd. You have 3 seconds.
No, did you tell the devils they had 3 seconds, or is that only for me? Now, Kamala Harris is college educated. She's a lawyer. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is not a lawyer. And facts do not matter to Donald Trump, nor does it matter to Coons or his racist supporters. So this woman is college educated. She's smart as a whip. You don't get to where you are in life being dumb unless you can buy your way through like Donald Trump and his father. And to talk about her and like a prostitute when Donald Trump sleeps with porn stars and with anybody else. Oh God. And remember he said he'll grab them by the vaginas. Remember? They let you do it if you're famous. Remember?
Yeah, only the cool ones will. Only the cool ones. Not the prudes.
Okay.
What do you
He was
say?
making
Now-
a joke. He was making a joke.
Excuse me, did anyone have a comment about the former president being at McDonald's trying to say?
First we want to
I
talk about.
thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool.
Okay, wait. All right, stop. I can't get a question out.
You
Todd,
said anybody.
You spent too much time trying to get Stephen and Keith when we need to cover subjects because we have a lot of subjects to cover tonight. One, okay, Todd, just answer this. Him being at McDonald's.
Did you say
answer that one first, cousin Todd?
Talking over that? Did you say that?
McDonald's.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to start with McDonald's because we're going to start with Arnold Palmer. He is so nasty. Why is he obsessed with this man's penis? Keith and Stephen sound familiar? They always talk about cutting people's penises off. Ooh.
Stacy, can we move on? Can we
What?
move on?
No,
Stacey?
ma'am, we cannot. These are the two
And let's
topics
just
on the
talk
table.
about Arnold Palmer's penis all night.
Well, Donald Trump wants to, don't you?
Okay, then nobody's
Okay,
perfect.
I really want to move on.
And
Yeah,
then-
nobody's perfect.
Okay, that's fine. So he was ridiculous for saying that, and
Yes,
really
ridiculous.
and
Emphasis on the
unconsensual.
dick. Ridiculous. Emphasis on the dick.
That's Donald Trump and you and Keith.
Right, and
who
that
wants
right.
an
I'll
emphasis
still
on that.
take him over Kamala, even though
I
he's
know
fascinated
you
about
will.
somebody's penis. I don't care.
All right. What about
You're
pretending-
fascinated maybe about somebody's something, whatever. Who cares?
I'm only
I don't
fascinated
care
with
about
you
anybody's sexual
Stephen-
proclivities.
Stephen and
I
Keith.
like what Donald Trump does for the country.
Okay,
I don't care
all
if Donald Trump is a cock.
Stephen, you gotta
Yes,
let
ma'am.
him finish, please.
Okay, please finish.
And
He's
you
been
got
talking
2
for
seconds,
30
Todd, and I'm
minutes.
cutting you off.
He's
because
been
you
talking
spent
for
too much
30. He's
time
been
on this.
talking for 30
You
minutes.
won't stop talking, freak.
You've been
So-
talking for 30 minutes.
That's because you won't stop talking, freak.
Oh, I've been quiet.
Hurry up, cousin Todd. You got to focus on one thing. I said McDonald's. Go to
Okay.
McDonald's, cousin
We don't
Todd.
want to talk about McDonald's.
Well, the McDonald's is a farce because this idiot is such a waste of time. He would rather go try and embarrass a woman who's worked at McDonald's just because she said, I used to work at McDonald's. Oh, no, she didn't. And he said, made him crazy. So he goes and puts on a costume. Sounds like these two boys. Goes and puts on a costume and goes to McDonald's and makes them open because that McDonald's was not even open. They were closed. This is all for a gag. So he opened this McDonald's and went, and somebody drove through as a gag, and he pretended to make French fries because I don't think she made any French fries because she dumb. On it, he's crazy.
Okay,
This man needs to be institutionalized. Now, if your father or your uncle or your grandfather was acting like that, you would be embarrassed. You'd say, you all can't come over for Thanksgiving because I got a new job living in the
But
house.
Stacey, Todd is projecting. He's crazy.
Okay, so let me ask you all this. Donald Trump is 78. In 2 years, if he wins the presidency, in 2 years, he will be 80. We all know from personal experience that we have family members who are 80 and above who go to get health care. And in the healthcare system in the United States, if you're 80 and above, they will not.
They don't want to be bothered with you.
I got to answer. Can I answer, Stacey?
Can I finish?
But can I answer when you finish?
Yes, you can.
They will not treat you if you're a woman 80 and above. They will not give you any more mammograms or pap smears. If you are a man 80 or above, they're not going to do anything to try to be preventative for any type of disease you may have. So then how can we elect someone who will be 80 and above in the presidency when the rest of the country cannot be treated for diseases if they're 80 and above? Go ahead, Stephen.
Disease and disorders.
Keith, I have the answer. You know what his name is?
Look at this. Watch this demon.
You know what his name is?
Say it,
J.D. Vance will take over where Trump left off. And J.D. Vance is more popular than Donald Trump. And he will continue the MAGA movement. And we have nothing to lose. And it doesn't matter that Donald Trump in a couple years is going to be 80. It doesn't matter because J.D. Vance is younger than everybody on this show. Everybody that does this show, J.D. Vance is younger, and he's the future of the party that is not the Republican Party. Why is this person talking, Stacey? Because I didn't talk when he was talking.
He's younger.
Why is he talking, Stacey? Cutting him off. I cut myself off. He can't cut himself off. You're the problem, Todd. And then Stacey's got to get pissy with me. It's not me. It's you. You and Nas and Guna, who can't even show up anymore because they know they lost. They know they're losers. They know they can't win anymore. They know that everything that they supported and everything you support, you've already lost. Nobody in this country wants your BS anymore. Nobody wants your socialism, communism anymore. Nobody does. 80% of the country is against you.
Okay, Stephen, that's
why they can't be on the show tonight.
Thank you. I was going to have Keith respond, but I don't know where Keith went, Cousin Todd.
Okay, that was just sick. You see how he came up with those made-up numbers? 80% of the country. That's not true, stupid Stephen. I mean, Stephen.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Not true. You just made that up.
No, it's a fact.
You got that from Fox News.
No, it's not Fox News.
Listen to me carefully.
Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
Donald Trump is not good for this country. Now, we just talked about how he's going to be 80 in 2 years.
J.D. Vance.
Just a minute. He will not give anything to J.D. Vance. Surprise, dum-dum. He won't step down, and you know he won't. What? Ha, ha, ha. He didn't even want to leave when he lost. Remember,
it was stolen from him. It was a stolen election.
Okay, I got to move on.
Okay,
I have to move on. Thank you.
That's been debunked, dum-dum.
No, it has not.
In the past,
you've been debunked. All of your lies are going to swallow you up. You're going to get swallowed up by all of your lies.
Starting with Bill Barr. Bill Barr said you lost.
Your side is done.
Thank you both. Keith, did you want to make a comment about hitting 80 years old and not being treated by the healthcare system and how President Trump, if he wins, what he will do when he's 80 and if he gets something and he can't be treated by the healthcare system?
Well, I think that Stephen wrapped it up very well. Stephen said J.D. Vance. I mean, he's second in command. So he'll take the reins and he'll do great. He's very young, and not only that, but there are a lot of senators. Well, Mitch McConnell, who is that other guy that you're going to talk about later in your show? 90 years old or 91?
John Holmes.
Chuck Grassley.
Yeah. See, and they're still in power. They're still in the legislature. Well, yeah, Grassley.
Oh,
yeah. So they're still in power. They're still They're still functioning. They're still,
okay.
So there you go.
Why can't we discuss? I thought this conversation was going to turn into, especially from you, Keith, because you are old as you are very old, and so I thought this conversation was going to turn into healthcare. Are you aware that after 80 they do not allow you to get Pap smear, so you can't get any more Pap smears? Oh, I mean not Pap smears. I mean colonoscopies.
So
not
the end of your life just because you can't get them.
Just a minute. I can tell I'm talking to a Trump supporter. Let me explain this to you, Keith. These things are preventative. So when you get a colonoscopy done, that would check to make sure you don't have cancer.
Colon cancer.
You see?
And I can't believe that nowhere in the country is going to do that if you request it or need it. I don't believe that. Sorry. It may be law, but that doesn't mean that they won't get it.
Look. Did you
There's
hear?
a lot of people getting
now, this is a Trump supporter. This is a Trump supporter.
Thank you. I got to move on.
Wait a minute. This is important. This is how dumb and ignorant Trump supporters are. I don't believe it. You didn't even research it. Nothing. I don't believe it.
Well,
that's it.
Well,
I don't believe it.
We got people
You're the
coming in from
dumbest
the.
person
We have people coming in
I'm
who are
going to
not
move on
even
and
legal
give
in the country. They
information
can get anything they
people who are
want. Don't
intelligent
tell
and
me
need it.
that this person cannot get it just because you're a certain age. I'm sorry. There are places that will do it. I guarantee you.
Dumb.
They can find it.
Okay.
Especially
Go
if they
ahead.
have the
Cousin Todd,
money.
finish up. We got to move on.
Especially if they have the money. If they have the
you
money,
have the
they
money
can
to
do
move
it.
on. We got to move on.
Okay. Keith is this is why Trump supporters, and he knows who they are.
It's called money. If you have money.
Do you have any money, Keith?
If you got the money. Trump has got money.
Okay, I'm moving on.
Don't worry about Trump. You ought to worry about yourself.
Anyway, so
Trump is going to be well taken care of in his old age.
Would you shut up? We're talking about the healthcare system that does not take care of their elders.
No, we were talking about Trump. You didn't.
Trump
the healthcare
is going
system
to be. Oh my gosh! Listen.
The healthcare system.
You gotta let him finish.
I just explained.
You gotta stop, please.
All right.
Yeah, because he's dumb. I just
explained
make
to
your
him.
Point, Todd. Make your point and move on.
I
We're
just
running out of time.
explained to this idiot that if you're over 80, you cannot get the things that people under 80 get: Pap smears, mammograms, colonoscopies. I just explained that.
So it doesn't matter. You're saying it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's
Your
what I wanted to know.
insurance will not cover. So anyway, they don't do it for people over 80, which is dirty and rotten for our politicians to allow insurance companies to do that. This is where I thought you would go because you're old.
No.
I thought
Steven,
you would say that is
it Democrats? Is it Democrats or Republicans? Is it Democrats or Republicans, Todd?
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Steve,
Don't
do you
ask
believe
questions.
that a president?
I gotta move on.
I didn't know
believe
what
a
this
rich
year
person
was
can't
talking
get-
about.
You got to tell
Do
me.
you see how dumb these
You're
people are?
amazing.
I don't trust the healthcare system, and I don't get tests done.
You see
So
how
if you look
dumb?
at this Reuters
Oh my
article,
gosh,
Vice
Lord, help me
President
to hold
Harris,
out.
excuse me,
These
Vice
people are
President Harris,
beyond dumb. Okay, go ahead.
Vice President Harris pledges marijuana reform, defends record in the Charlemagne interview that she had. She says
Wow.
she pledges to decriminalize, if she becomes president, she pledges to decriminalize marijuana if elected. She was questioned on past prosecution record, and she appeared on Fox News and maybe Joe Rogan. The decriminalization of marijuana.
Right.
Why does it have to fall on a president of color? The question previously was, people expected President Obama
Well,
to decriminalize marijuana because he was a person of color. Why are they looking for her to do it as opposed to former President Trump? Why didn't President Trump decriminalize
I can answer it.
marijuana? Okay, Stephen.
Because she wants the black vote that she's losing. A lot of black men and a lot of black women are going to vote for Trump because they're reasonable people and they're getting off of the plantation that the Democrat Party is. 90-some% of black people traditionally vote for the Democrats. That's on a plantation. That's a plantation mentality. If you want freedom, go to the Republican Party. The Republican Party is a party that formed together to end slavery. But the Democrat Party has black people convinced that that's the party for them, and they can stay in that slavery section and not ever advance. Some people can, some people can't, but this is what they're doing to them. They own them. The Democrat Party has always owned black people since slavery. That's the Democrat Party. Lincoln was a Republican who wanted to end slavery. I want to end slavery. So if black people need to vote for Donald Trump to end slavery in this country of black people.
Thank you, Keith. Same question to you.
Well, you saw, it's obvious that she's reaching out to the black men as if, and what an insult to black men. Many black men, including myself, were insulted by that. I do.
All you want to do is smoke pot and sell pot, right?
Yeah,
because you're a black man.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't smoke it. Neither would I vote.
Okay.
I know it's insulting. I agree. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I wouldn't legalize that. That's nonsense.
Right, but it's insulting to you as a black man. It should be insulting to every black man to say, "Oh, I'm gonna legalize weed. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give black people something." They can open up their own weed shop. It's just insulting because she's not black. She's not a black woman.
Stephen, watch. Todd is going to defend it. Watch.
I don't see how.
Watch.
What am I defending?
Tell him, Stacey.
Kamala Harris.
Stephen, you have to shut up. The question is for me. So just relax. Say no to drugs. Okay. The question
only black men smoke pot.
The question is, should marijuana be legal?
And that was not my question.
Well, that's what they turned it to.
Well, Stacey, reinstate your question, if you will, for the audience.
Why is it that a
person I already, I've heard that. I was answering these nut jobs.
No. Let's question. Answer Stacey. We're not the host. Stacey's the host.
Gosh, he won't
answer her question.
Why can't he shut up? He keeps saying, answer. If you would,
I'm respecting Stacey. That's all I'm doing.
Shut up. That's a song.
All right, well, we're straight.
Anyway, oh gosh. So your question was about black people. Now I'll tell you, Obama was going to legalize marijuana. I didn't want him to, and he didn't. That was something he was thinking about doing, and I didn't want him to do that.
Why?
I wanted him. Why? Because I did not want a black president to do that. I would rather a white president do that.
Oh, okay.
Now, that's a little bit hard for you to understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'll explain it. White people are sick, like you. They're the devils.
See,
like
here
you.
it comes, Stephen.
And so,
I'm the devil.
Hey, you asked me, I'm answering. And so, therefore, you would find a way to demonize this black man for legalizing marijuana. So he would be the marijuana president. I didn't want that. I would rather it be somebody that looked like you, Keith.
But I'm a libertarian in heart as well, and I don't care if they legalize marijuana.
You want it to be somebody that looks like Keith.
No, I don't care if a president legalizes marijuana federally. I think that's a good thing. I think marijuana should be legalized. I don't care what color they are. You do because you're a racist, and I don't care because I'm not.
Okay, well, I just rather be with somebody that looks like you. So,
but now, what difference does it make? What difference? Why do you feel so bad about yourself that a black guy like Obama couldn't do it because he's a black guy? Why does that make you feel inferior? Okay. It's not that we're superior. It's that you feel inferior. That Obama could say, okay, we've legalized pot, or Donald Trump legalized pot. Who cares what color they are?
Stop pretending that.
No, you want to be the perpetual victim. You want to be a victim all the time.
Okay,
You're not a victim.
All right, you already said that. Shh. Stop pretending that I think you're superior to me. Look at you and look at me.
No, it's your words.
Ridiculous. And you know that's ridiculous. So you're not superior to anybody, much less me, for goodness sakes. So this is what I'm saying to you. I didn't want a black person to take the stigma of that because
I understand your sentiments, but I don't understand it because we're
I
all
understand,
equal.
I don't care. I don't trust you, white people, and you spin things.
You don't trust white people?
No, I do not.
Because you're a racist.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, they spin things. The last person that trusted whites, they were enslaved.
White people were enslaved. Everybody's been enslaved.
No. See,
yeah, everybody's been enslaved that's lived in this world.
No, they were not.
Everybody has come from slaves that's lived in this world. Everybody.
Okay. Where did you get that from? What history book did you read that
You
from?
really don't know that everybody has come from slaves. Okay, it don't matter who you are. Slavery has been around since the beginning of time. Since the beginning I'm sorry you don't have the brain power right now. I don't know what's wrong with you. But slavery has been around since mankind has been around.
Okay.
Man made us slave.
Okay, we're all gonna stop. You're just gonna stop. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Thank you.
See, this is what Trump supporters do. And
but
then you move
Todd,
on,
you're proving that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I gave all that money for nothing. I gave all that money for nothing. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. I gave to the United Negro College Fund for you to have no brain at all. Great. You wasted your mind, Todd.
All right.
The devil is a liar.
The devil. You're crazy. You laugh like Kamala.
And you laugh like dirty Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things
There's more to say. I have much more
there
to
are
say,
a lot of things that people want to learn about you and your policies.
Yes.
And that's why
I invite everyone to go to kamalaharris.com. And you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why
intend
we
to do to
invited you
strengthen
here
our economy,
to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that looked like it went pretty well, her interview.
Really? No, it didn't go well at all, Stacey. She's not a competent candidate. She's not a competent candidate. She has no reason. She has no competency to run for president.
In English, what you're talking about specifically.
She's not competent enough. She doesn't have enough brain power. She doesn't have enough experience in life to be president. She knows nothing about foreign policy. She knows nothing about the economy. She knows nothing about anything. Every position she has gotten has been given to her. She is the DEI or whatever. That's all she is. There's nothing about her that's substantive. Donald Trump was the president. When he was the president, there was leaders in other countries that were scared of him. They wouldn't have started these wars. Russia would not have invaded Ukraine. And a million people are dead from Ukraine war right now. That never would have happened. What is wrong with you people? The problem is the Democrat Party, Stacey. It really is. The Democrat Party has screwed up the entire world.
Okay.
The reason we have a problem with Iran, because it started with Jimmy.
Okay, Stephen, you can't go on and on. I got to move on. You can't.
Okay, move on, Stacey. Thank you for my time.
Vice President Kamala Harris said, go to her site and you can see, and you see we have it here.
She's great.
Her policies. She says lower costs. These are some of the policies that she wants to deal with. Lower costs for middle-class families, cut taxes for working people, if you can see that. Cut taxes for working people, lower food and grocery costs.
Okay.
She's talking about all the laws in New York and California and Texas, lower healthcare costs. She wants to lower prescription drug costs. She wants to lower energy costs, lower costs by protecting consumers from fees and fraud. So, based on what her policies are and the things that she wants to do on her website, my question to you, Keith, is being a middle class American, wouldn't you want all those things to happen to lower all those costs?
Yes, I would. And the only problem is she hasn't done it thus far. I mean, she's working with Joe Biden. I assume Biden is still the president of the United States. And for the past 3 years, I didn't see her trying to encourage him to do that. They haven't lowered anything. They've raised everything. Everything is higher as a result of their spending. And she's done nothing that coexists with what she just said on her website. So it's all a lie.
You're right. It's all a lie. It's all BS.
Okay.
It's absolutely ridiculous. If you want
Stacey,
4 more
you
years,
just went to him. Now you're going back to him
but
before
really,
me?
real
This is
fast, if you
crazy.
want 4 more years of what we just had, please vote for Harris. If you want 4 more years of what we just had, just vote for Harris. We could really have a better country for everybody. This is why more black people are going towards Trump. More Hispanics are going towards Trump. More human beings are going towards Trump that have not been so severely brainwashed by The View. And they're just so in love with Whoopi Goldberg like Todd is. They're just crazy people that believe what they're saying. You are losing your country if we stay the path we're going. 70 to 80% of the country has been polled, and they've said, we don't like the direction this country's going in. What is wrong with you people? What is good about Kamala Harris? Nothing. Donald Trump has his faults. He's not Jesus Christ. We all know that. But he's the best man to lead this country. And when he was president, this country was better and the world was better. What in the hell is wrong with you people?
Look,
why are we arguing right now? You want Kamala Harris? What the hell is wrong with you? I don't understand it. I don't understand it, Todd. Is it because she's the same color? Is it because her family in Jamaica owned slaves? She was heavy in the slave trade? Because you support Kamala Harris because she's a slave trader family? What the hell is wrong with you?
Okay, thank you. Cousin Todd, if you look at the screen, I put up former President Donald Trump's unveils his policies or his ideas about tips, overtime, Social Security, and his no tax pledges and what they might cost. Donald Trump has pledged to end taxes on everything from tips, that's bigger, to Social Security and overtime pay. Elected to the White House again, but he hasn't detailed how he would fund those ideas and avoid creating a huge budget shortfall beyond arguing he will usher in economic boom.
Yeah. Well, he never explains how he's going to pay for these things. And as for no taxes on overtime, he never paid his workers overtime. He bragged about that. He said, I never paid my workers overtime. Do you want to look that up, stupid Stephen or crazy Keith? That's what he said. Now, perhaps Stacey will have time enough to look that up for you, but that's what he said. So now he's flipped again and said, oh, I'll make them no tax on overtime, which he never paid, which he said himself, overtime to workers. So he's a joke. He will say anything to get elected, literally anything. The man is old and I believe senile. I think he has dementia. If you watch him, he's just scattered, something like Stephen. He just goes crazy. And Kamala Harris, he's just, and so he's an embarrassment who should never, and everybody that worked with him, all the bigwigs say he should never be president again. Now, this is two-faced people like Bill Barr He said he lost the election, and I told him so. I said, you lost. He
Okay,
told
thank you,
Bill
Cousin
Barr
Todd.
to do an investigation. He said, I did an investigation. I told him, you lost. But he knows how dumb people are, and he wanted their money. So he said, we're going to stop the steal. Send me your money so we can stop the steal. And he got $250 million to stop the steal. And he did not spend $1, not $1 on stop the steal, because there was nothing to steal. He lost.
Thank you, Cousin Todd. Let me share this screen with you and talk about
Oh,
some
wait a minute. I
important.
wanted to talk about that Fox News interview where the host lied and
Go ahead.
pretended that Donald Trump didn't say that Democrats are the enemy of the people. That's what he said. And the host said, no, he didn't say that. This is what he said. And he ran some silly clip. And this is what upset Kamala Harris. He said, he didn't say that. He said that, first of all, he used to talk about the media is the enemy of the people. Now he's talking about Democrats at large are the enemy of the people. And that is outrageous as somebody who wants to be president, pitting Americans against each other. You're the enemy of the people? How dare he? And then he wants to sick the military on their own people as if we are at war. That man is psychotic, and I believe he's senile.
None of that is
Thank you,
true.
Cousin Todd.
That's all media BS.
What?
None of
Tell
that
me
is true.
specifically what's
None of
not
what you
true.
said was true. He does not want to do any of that. That's
He
media
said-
BS, and you believe
Now-
it.
No,
You either
I
believe
heard
it, you either
This is
believe
what I
it, or
heard.
you know it's a
Bring
lie.
a clip of this Trump saying they're the enemy of the people. He said Nancy Pelosi. This is okay, Stephen, shut up.
Latest on the
I'm gonna
ceasefire
move
efforts in
on.
the Middle East.
About.
Secretary Blinken touched down in Israel overnight to meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Our foreign correspondent Tom Sufi Bird is in Tel Aviv. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, George. Yeah, Blinken already meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. They have a lot to discuss on Gaza. U.S. officials say they want to take advantage of the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar to push the conflict towards some kind of resolution, as well as focus on the lack of aid reaching the most desperate areas of northern Gaza, where the IDF has really escalated its operations amid desperate scenes and reports of heavy casualties. Blinken also focusing on the other major front in this war in Lebanon, again pushing for a diplomatic solution, but IDF operations there are also escalating. Israel now targeting buildings linked to a Hezbollah-affiliated financial organization and also striking overnight near a hospital. Crucially, Secretary Blinken will also be discussing Israel's plans to launch a retaliatory strike against Iran and the fear this could turn into all-out war between the two countries. Michael?
Yeah, legitimate fear there, Tom. Thank you so much.
Okay, start with Stephen, then Keith, then Cousin Todd. Will they be able to find some sort of way to stop this war and convince Israel not to continue to bomb Gaza or Lebanon or anywhere else?
Israel has to finish the war, and then the war will be over. Israel didn't start this war. They were brought into this war by
When will it be over?
by Iran.
When
By
will the war
Iran
be
and their proxies. So
When
Israel,
will the war be over?
the war will be over when they have decimated the terrorists that have been tormenting and terrorizing them for decades. They have got to wipe them completely out. They can't stop for a little while and then let them regroup and then just go after their innocent people again. They can't do that. They have to. Since so many people have gotten killed by these terrorists, they have to take care of them now. They have to destroy them all. They cannot let them live. That's when the war will be over, unless the Hezbollah and whoever else, if they will put their arms down and they release all the hostages, the war will be over. Until then, every one of them will get killed, and they need to be killed.
Keith?
Oh, I was
He's
still on
on mute.
Okay. Yes, Stacy, what is your question?
Okay, Cousin Todd?
He's on mute.
when will the war be over? And it won't be. What's happening now is Benjamin Netanyahu recognizes that we're in an election and nothing is going to happen for the next month. So what he's going to do is bomb for the next month. And then he's going to say, oh, okay, we want to do some peace talks now. After so many innocent people have lost their lives because of his war crimes. And so this is what he knows he can get away with because nothing is going to happen between now and the election. And so he's going to take advantage, sort of like Donald Trump, and keep bombing and killing innocent people.
Well, you know, the question is, will he be able to do that when you have Secretary of State Antony Blinken right there in the region talking to you? Are you going to be able to keep bombing right in front of his face?
Yes. Putin is
I
something
don't
like
think so.
Trump. Putin is audacious.
Not
Putin
Putin.
is-
You said Putin is something like Trump.
that was deliberate. Putin is something like Trump. Oh, I mean Benjamin Netanyahu. Birds of a feather.
Okay.
So these people take advantage of the United States. Now, Keith and Steve was saying, if Trump were president, Russia would not have invaded Ukraine. They would have.
No, they would not have.
The only difference, Trump would have given them the okay to do it.
No, they would not have.
That's the only difference.
Biden gave Russia the okay. Biden said if you do it just a little bit, if you do just a little bit, it's okay. Biden gave the okay for Russia to invade Ukraine. Go back and look it up. Google it. They would never have done that under Trump. 1 million people have died, Stacey, in Ukraine. 1 million people have died that wouldn't have died if Donald Trump didn't have his election stolen from him by weasels like Todd.
Why would Russia listen to Donald Trump?
Because they were scared to death of him like everybody else was. They were scared of him. They thought he was crazy.
Wait a minute.
Let me play. Excuse me.
Gave him kits.
Todd, you got to shut up. She's trying to put Todd. You got to shut up. Todd, you got to shut up. Shut up, Todd.
Test kits, and America needed those test kits, but he sent them to his boy.
Okay,
Nobody's listening to you.
Watch this, please. This is what I think you were alluding to, Cousin Todd.
Democratic nominee for president, Vice President Kamala Harris, recently had an interview on Fox News where she accused Donald Trump of threatening to use the military against Americans who oppose him. Brandon Lewis from our Verify team looks into whether Donald Trump actually said that.
Vice President Kamala Harris was interviewed on Fox News and claimed former President Donald Trump threatened to use the military against Americans he calls the enemy within.
You and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people.
Multiple viewers, including Jenny and John, messaged us asking if Trump really said that. So let's verify. Our sources are past statements by Trump and his campaign spokesman. We checked multiple interviews that Trump gave to Fox News Channel and found he actually said this multiple times, including twice last week. Here's what Trump said on October 13th in response to a question about whether he expects chaos on Election Day.
I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
Trump then reiterated his comments during a taped town hall with Fox News' Harris Faulkner on October 16th.
They're very, very different. And it is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous.
So, yes, Trump has talked about using the military against Americans he called the enemy from within. His running mate, J.D. Vance, downplayed the remarks.
Would a Trump administration use the military to go after people who oppose Donald Trump?
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
While campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung, in a statement to Verify, said President Trump is 100% correct. Those who seek to undermine democracy by sowing chaos in our elections are a direct threat.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm Brandon Lewis.
That's true. They're a direct threat. The people have been going against Trump and going against the free and fair elections. They are a direct threat to democracy. We cannot have a real election if it's going to be stolen the way it was last time.
Okay, thank you. So let me have Cousin Todd. You brought this up. We played it. Make your comments extremely brief to that.
Look at the weirdo just left because he's wrong. He just heard, first he said, "That's a lie, that's a lie." And then he heard with his own ears, but Donald Trump said, "Don't believe anything you hear, nor anything you see." He just heard Donald Trump say,
"Make your comment. Don't focus on Stephen."
That they are enemy of the people. We're talking about American people, sicking the military on American people.
No, they're not.
He just said that.
They're not going to do that, man.
Wait.
We're going to move on.
Wait a minute. Are you saying he didn't say that, or
you're taking it out of context? You're taking it out of context. He's not going to put the American military onto people. You're trying to make a monster out of somebody who's not a monster. Okay. If he was a monster, we would have known it in the 4 years he was president. He wasn't a monster. He was actually a really good president.
Okay.
He was a better president than Joe Biden.
Okay, whatever. Now look. So this is what a Trump supporter does. They'll just spin. He said he didn't say it. Now that he heard him say it, he didn't mean it. So this is what you get out of sick Trump supporters. The fact of the matter is, how is a president of the United States sicking the military on its own people?
He would never do that. He would never do that.
He would.
The military would not go against its own people. The president can't do that. You're twisting it up, Todd. You're twisting it up. That's not a fact. He would never put his military against people. What he was saying was he just wants everything to be free and fair. Let's make sure things are good for everybody in this country. That he doesn't try. He's not going to hurt American people.
Stephen,
yes.
Didn't the government just go after a former president? The government, United States government?
Yeah, the United States government, yes, they are completely corrupt. And they went after Donald Trump with nothing. Did you see with Fawny? Have you seen Fawny today, Keith?
With nothing.
All of that is BS. All of it was BS. Every case against Donald Trump is BS because they can't let him be president, because this is what the Marxist communists do. They can't let him be president. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves in the United States of America that it's been so good.
Now, Keith, you wanted to make a comment. This is the time I'm going to allow you to make a comment before we go into sports. We had to put sports last because we didn't have enough people here to do sports.
Thank you,
So,
Stacey.
Keith, what was your comment you were going to make about former President Trump?
Well, I was going to say that Stephen was absolutely right. Everything he said about January 6th. Yeah, everything he said about January 6th. And the reason I have proof of it.
What did he say about January 6th? First he said they should be in jail. Then he said they were criminals.
Michigan and Georgia and Alabama. Alabama, Stephen. Alabama, a judge just overruled Alabama. Also Arizona. They had 100,000 voter roster, voters on their roster who were illegal aliens. They wanted to clean up the roster, and judges overruled that. Now, Georgia had made a law after 2020, and that law was also overruled by courts. And so that law,
because
the court, here was what the law said in Georgia. I kind of wish that Nas was here, but he's not. So in Georgia, in Atlanta, it says drop boxes would be limited in each county to per 100,000 people or voters, active registered voters.
What does that make?
It also said drop boxes must be placed inside early voting sites or election offices only during the election time. So in other words, I think that's pretty reasonable. That to ensure more secured voting. But a judge overrules that.
Oh no. No, a lot of judges are corrupt.
Yeah.
And they're part of the system. So that's what you get. You can't live.
That gives me reason to believe that there was cheating on 2020, January 6th. And that gives me reason to believe that, because
absolutely there was cheating. 100% there was cheating. And they're cheating now. They cheated so hard they tried to kill Trump. They cheated so hard they tried to have all these fake cases against them. They
You were
can't
right,
beat
Stephen.
him. They cannot beat him. They should be ashamed of themselves to everything they've done to him. Because you
Okay,
know what,
but
Keith, I was part of
they're
it
babbling
when he had
on.
his.
They're babbling on.
I
And
said
Okay,
we
thank
said
you.
when he had his fake impeachments.
Okay, you have to stop. I said you have to stop, so you have to stop. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stacey.
So I think we've covered everything we need to cover. I want to go on to sports. First, let's start with the women Liberty, New York Liberty players, and how they won the national championship for the WNBA. Congratulations to them. Let's hear about that.
Their long-awaited first WNBA title, beating the Minnesota Lynx in overtime of Game 5. Rhiannon, Allie, you were there for it all as well.
It was quite the game. Wow, I have no voice left, but from screaming all night. It was an overtime thriller. And this winner-take-all Game 5, it kept fans of both teams on the edge of our seats until the last possible second. It was a heartbreaker for Minnesota fans, but it was New York's turn to finally win it all.
This morning, for the first time in franchise history, the New York Liberty are waking up WNBA champions. The W comes after a rocky start. Trying to defend against the Minnesota Lynx's Nafisa Collier.
I mean, that is simply Nafisa Collier's shot.
At one point, the Liberty down by 12 points.
Jones puts it down, gets it back, and finishes, puts the foul.
But storm back with a chance to tie the game with just 38 seconds left in regulation. Breanna Stewart.
Misses both.
But Stewie got a chance for redemption. Fouled once more.
This to tie Game 5. Tie game.
The Liberty came out firing in overtime, ending the game 67-62. Stewart celebrating the historic moment with her family.
We fought through because we wanted to bring it home for this city and this crowd.
The crowd in Brooklyn going wild.
2021 right here.
And outside fans celebrating their Lady Liberties. Jonquel Jones, who left home at the Bahamas at just 13 years old to pursue her basketball dreams, taking home the MVP award.
Y'all know my story. Y'all know many times I've been denied it, but it was delayed. That's all it was. And I'm so happy to do it here.
And she did it. She did. JJ made it a game we will never forget. I got to bring my 8-year-old daughter, so that definitely was a memory, core memory for the both of us. By the way, New York hasn't had a basketball champion since the Knicks won it in 1973, and I heard the New York be here.
They've already left Brooklyn. They've already left Brooklyn. They're on the way here to Times Square.
Don't tell my daughter.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
Stephen,
didn't
did
know
Caitlin
that.
retire? Did Caitlin retire, Stephen?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw she was leaving, Stacey.
No.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. I did see that is leaving, which is really interesting. I'm surprised that Keith knew that.
She's leaving what? She's leaving. What is she leaving? Basketball?
She would. They
Well,
were
I think
saying
she's
she was
leaving the WNBA.
What are y'all talking about?
Oh,
no,
there he
nothing.
is.
Nothing's making any
Sports and
sense.
politics, mix and mingle.
There he is. There he
I
is.
mean, on.
Have you heard?
Welcome,
Hey, have you
and-
heard about Caitlin Clark retiring or something?
What are y'all talking about? Caitlin
I don't know. This is news to me.
She lost in the first round of the playoffs, so she wasn't
Let me see if
there
I can
because
find
they
it.
lost.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like anything it makes any sense at all. Why would she retire? She's the face of the WNBA.
So anyway, when Keith looks up things, that's how you should know that's Keith's research ability. The fact that he would find something that tells him that Caitlin Clark is retiring after one season. That's it. That's enough. 1 year, I'm done. I don't need that anymore.
No,
Yeah,
but give him grace.
About that too.
Yeah, but give him grace. He's not a sports guy. Keith is not a sports guy. You gotta give him some grace, man.
he doesn't have the ability to research, which is why he tells you all the wrong things all of the time. That's why.
No, he's
So
right.
so
He's right
going
sometimes.
into the WNBA game, I think, Stacey, you should find the clip of the coach for the Minnesota Lynx, because she had some interesting things to say after the game. A lot of fans were upset. They felt like things were tilted in the Liberty's favor. Lynx were up 2. Precious time left to go in the game. New York inbounds the ball. Stewie clearly travels, and a phantom foul is called. Stewie gets 2 free throws. Game goes to overtime. So the people of Minnesota are very upset about that final. And for all the new fans who just got into the WNBA, they just got their first little batch of really terrible officiating. So that's the other story that's coming out of this. So ultimately, probably good for the league, because people are going to talk about this even though the season's over. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
is it? But is it?
let me
But
play
is it
that.
terrible?
Let me play that now. Listen to this, Stephen.
Sports yesterday. The Lynx losing the WNBA championship to the Liberty in New York last night. Our Miriam Mose was there for the game.
A heartbreaking loss for the Lynx, who fell to the Liberty in overtime 67-62 in a decisive Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. But, you know, offensively, this team did have a really great game in so many ways. Captains Nafisa Collier and Kayla McBride both had over 20 points in this game, more than any other player on the court last night between either team. So that's a win in and of itself. But Coach Cheryl Reeves said that this game really came down to the reffing tonight. She used the words robbed, that this win was stolen from them. And she just said that there were so many fouls that they were called that the Liberty wasn't, and that a decisive foul towards the end of regulation with Alana Smith, where she challenged it and the challenge was unsuccessful. And this is what she had to say about that.
I thought today was incredibly disappointing. The challenge, we have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party, because that was not a foul. That call should have been reversed on that challenge.
Regardless of outcome, history was made this season. Not only did the New York Liberty win their first WNBA championship in franchise history, but there was records broken all over this league. You know, we had record viewership throughout the season and throughout this playoff run. Target Center had historic numbers in attendance. A lot to be proud of looking at the big picture, and I think that's what a lot of the Lynx members are feeling right now, talking to a lot of them after this game. They're already taking in just the greater picture of perspective and how proud they are of this season and what they've accomplished. Reporting in Brooklyn, Marielle Mose, WCCO.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was talking about. That it may be like everything in sports. You got to take with a grain of salt. It's all about who makes the most money, who benefits the most, who can get the most out of this, and that's what sports is now. But people like me who do this, you know, bet on sports, we can find out where they want things to go, and we can win on the New York team because we can figure out where they want to go. And the bad calls are going to be called like that. That's just awful. It's just really awful. But it's not indicative of the women's sports. It's all sports. This is such a thing where it's so much money involved on betting and stuff like that, that it's just really hard to have integrity anymore. And since the days of before Babe Ruth, we don't have integrity.
All right, watch this. The Dodgers and the Yankees finally going to the World Series.
Question is, how much is it going to cost you if you want to be there and witness history? Fox 11's Hal Eisner has been looking into the ticket prices. Hal has not bought me a ticket yet, but we're hopeful. Hal.
Yes, we're hopeful. Look, you want to go to the World Series. You think this is the game of the year, the century for me to go to. But what's it going to cost you? Let's look at some video here as we talk about this, because it's not exactly an exact science. What happens here is that they can fluctuate. Each day that they play, the price can go up. It can go down. It's a little bit like the stock market. But here's what Ticket Broker Game Time is suggesting for prices. For Game 1 at Dodger Stadium, the lowest price ticket, including taxes and fees, is $1,896, and the top tickets are as much as $25,678. Game 2 at Dodger Stadium, $1,641 to get in the door, $24,000 plus for top tickets. Games 3, 4, and 5 would be in New York. 6 and 7, if they're needed, would be back here in Dodger Stadium. For Game 6, the cheapest ticket costs $1,289. The top tickets are going for over $35,000. And should there be a Game 7, you're looking at about $19,000 for the top tickets, around $1,200 for the lowest ones. But the bottom line is, this is going to cost a lot of money. So what we did was we reached out to a broker and wanted to find out their advice, and here's what they told us.
Obviously, you got to keep it within your budget, but I would say that if the current prices are within your budget, go ahead and lock it in so you can look forward to it and not have to worry, not have to disappoint if you're taking kids or friends. It's not a whole lot of fun to come back and say, well, we should have bought when the prices were half what they are now. Now we can't go. And if prices go down between now and then, don't sweat it. You had to get in at some point, and if you got your tickets in hand and are excited about going, that's the most important thing.
So, Alex, Marla, my birthday is December the 13th, and I'd love to go to the Dodger World Series. So, there you go.
Well, Hal, Alex's birthday was on Friday, so you can get him a belated birthday gift.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's really interesting, right?
Mhm.
How expensive those tickets are going to be. So I think I'll enjoy watching the World Series on television.
Stacey, I don't care if I'm a millionaire. I'm still not paying that much money for tickets to watch a baseball game. I'm just not. There's got to be a lot more to come with those tickets than just being able to watch the World Series. No way in hell. I don't care if I have $1 billion. I don't care if I'm Donald Trump or who was that guy that just went to jail? I can't think of his name. He's that bunch baby oil. I don't care if I have that kind of money. But I'm not going to spend that kind of money to go to watch a baseball game. I don't care. I would be glad to watch it on TV. And I'm enjoying it. But Stacey, who do we have? Do you have LA? Do you have New York?
Hey,
I'm not going to get either one because the Phillies aren't playing. All I care about is the Phillies. If the Phillies aren't playing, it doesn't matter to me who wins.
Come on, Stacey. We got to
wait. Can I say something real quick? I just want to say, I just wanted to say how Donald Trump is so perverted, and so is Stephen. He wanted to, like, Donald Trump is obsessed with penises, and Stephen's obsessed with cutting penises off, and now he's obsessed with.
I'm not obsessed with cutting penises off.
Now
I'm
he's
not.
obsessed
I'm
with
really
Diddy
not
oil,
obsessed
talking
with
about
cutting
Diddy.
penises off.
What's the guy's name in jail? I can't think of his name, but he had a lot of baby oil.
No, I'm not
You're a
obsessed with cutting
weirdo.
penises.
A weirdo.
When did I ever say I was obsessed with cutting penises off, Todd?
You didn't say you were obsessed, but you say it every show. That makes you.
I
a
never said
weirdo.
anything about cutting somebody's penis off.
No,
I didn't.
Okay, I got to move on. I don't want to talk about that.
I think you're projecting.
I'm going to put those clips on
Hey,
TikTok
Stacey,
for you.
I got a question, Stacey. Stacey.
Look at his
Stacey,
boy
I have a
toy.
question.
What is it, boy
It seems
toy?
that,
You're his boy toy. Now you're gonna.
No,
I got a
just wanna
question.
know-
I got a
want to know
question.
if Todd. I want to know if
Look at this
Todd
demon.
and Nas think that. Well, actually, the economy must be pretty good if you can get thousands of people to pay for World Series tickets of 16. I mean, the high price tickets. That must be a pretty a sign of a good economy. What do you guys think?
No, it's just rich people. All rich people are always going to be rich.
Would never be the measurement for an economy. It's a
No, yeah, rich people are always going to be rich. They're always going to be able to
Tickets for the
afford
World
anything they want.
One at a time. Okay, wait. They can't hear you. One at a time. Go ahead. On.
Prices are a stupid way to judge an economy, and that's a really bad question. The tickets for the World Series last year were expensive. The tickets for the year before that were expensive, and so on and so on. Ultimately, the biggest events we have now are kind of corporate events. So corporations kind of buy tickets for their employees and things like that. But the average fan, you're pretty much not going to the big events unless you kind of decide to go all out on one of the nosebleed seats. But, most people aren't going to do that. But to the previous question, like the WNBA thing we were talking about, just think about this in your own life. I'm not accusing the WNBA of some grand conspiracy. It's just regular human error. Some of us have a personality to where we want to be somewhat liked by other people. To be an official at a home game where the whole crowd is yelling one thing, for you to have the intestinal fortitude to tell that crowd, no, it's the other way, it takes a special kind of person. So you got to think about that with officials and refs. Think about your own hometown, the high school rivalry game. Think about the referees being screamed at, cursed at, threatened, and everything else. Think about the ones who stared those crowds down and said, I don't care. That's a foul. And, there's some people who have that in them, and most people don't. So that's what I was complaining about with the WNBA was the officiating. But this World Series is the biggest World Series in decades because we have Shohei Ohtani from Japan, and we're going to have LA and New York marketplace as far as fans, and now we're adding a whole country of Japan. So this thing is going to be huge.
Yeah,
It's gonna be huge.
crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay, so let's I want to look at this. Please watch this. And Steven's up after this.
Joey Logano. Welcome to the championship for Joey Logano. And Team Penske. Very familiar surroundings for them. Winning in Las Vegas. Joey showing why he's one of the most clutch drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series. Paul Wolfe showing why he is one of the best strategists on pit road. They didn't have the fastest car, but that didn't matter because Logano is going to race for a championship in Phoenix.
Okay.
How intense was that final run behind the wheel, Joey?
Yeah.
It keeps stopping.
It stops a little bit,
Yes,
but
you
yeah,
can.
it's still cool.
Yeah, I would stop
Yeah,
it.
something's
because
going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
Sorry,
little bit,
something's going
but
on
you
with
can.
the video. Sorry
Yeah,
about that. I
but
don't know what's going on with the video, but go ahead, Steven. Joey Logano won.
Joey Logano
How did he do
won.
it?
He was about in the top 10 for a long time. He started ninth, which really helped me because I picked him to win and beat other people, and he really came through for me. I've had the most ridiculous time with betting on NASCAR. I've never done so well in my life on any other sport, but NFL has been pretty close. But I had Logano. I had him beating this guy. I had him beating this guy. I had him beating this. Have the top three. He ended up winning. He was in the second for a long time. And I really hope he wins because of a guy that I respect so much. He loves Joey Logano, and I've known him for over 50 years. And he loves Joey Logano, so I want him to win the entire championship.
Well,
Just
those
for
Italians are really good, man. Those Italians are the best.
I don't know if he's Italian, but the guy, my friend is named Bo, and Lowell, but we call him Bo. But they have Bell, Larson, Byron, Logano, and Hamlin are the top five. And there's only three races left. And I think Logano can end up winning it all because the last races are Homestead, which is next week, Martinsville, and then Phoenix. And Logano does well at all of these. It's been an incredible, magical year for the NASCAR, and it's coming to fruition now. And everything that you could even imagine is coming true. Like the great races and the great competition, and somebody who has Logano's won it, I think, twice, but he could win it again. And of course, Bell, Larson is a big favorite. Byron, they could win, and anybody could win. But I'm pulling for him now because He really, Logano really did well for me. Really, like I don't have to work for like another year. He really did well for me. So
Give me
3
a
more
break.
races
What do you
left.
mean for another year? Ma'am, stop it.
Oh
And
no, I went all in. I bet the house and the garage, but not the 2 tool sheds because I don't want to go crazy. But I just went off. So no, this was really a great week for me. I'm not trying to like brag. I'm still being humble because it was
Hey,
just
Todd,
a
how
dumb.
come no
It
brothers
was like
ever
kind of
went?
like a. But it was kind of like a dumb pick. I had him in another pool, and I just picked him, and I just went all in. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful time, and NASCAR has been so good this year. I've been so impressed, and there's so many people that cannot get back into it because they have felt like they've been kicked down and kicked down and kicked down. But the racing is so good now, and the cars are so equal, and the competition is so good. This is the best racing I've ever seen with NASCAR.
Have they ever had any black men in the race in these races?
Yeah, they've had a lot of black men. They have Bubba Wallace right now,
No.
but his
Has
name
there
is
ever been any
Daryl. His
black
name is
men?
Daryl. His name is
Why are
Daryl
you
Bubba
even
Wallace,
interested? You're not interested
and
in black men, only white.
the people who own his
Now,
car.
I
One of
got
the
a
owners of his
question.
car is Michael Jordan.
God.
Did you know that?
Thank you.
Keith? Michael Jordan owns part of his car, and he's at all of the races.
All
Hey,
right.
thank you. Go ahead, Cousin Todd. What
yeah.
did you want to say? Then we got to do our last one. Go
I
ahead,
just
Cousin Todd.
want
What did
to
you want to
know.
say?
I was messing with Todd, Stephen.
Then we're going to talk about the Redskins.
Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
Never mind. I can't because they're such weirdos. It's almost
You know what? You know what? He's drowning in the truth. He can't take it anymore. He's drowning in the truth. It's like he's being waterboarded.
Yeah.
Okay, watch this, please.
He has no sense of humor whatsoever.
Excuse me.
He's a funny guy.
I mean, I love him. I admire him. I respect him tremendously. But I heard what he said. You know, President, I heard what you said, man. Like, come on. That's why I really don't get into politics. I'm into people, because politicians they play the political game, and he was here and had to play the political game. So they have 2 good players. We got more than 2 good players, but you're here, so you had to support that. And what he said, they won the last 3 meetings or 2 meetings, something like that. He did his homework. Somebody gave him some great statistics. But President, come on, man, you my man. I love you. I appreciate you. But come on, dog. God bless you. I still love you. Let me go out and underscore this too. President Obama is everything to me. I mean, I love him. I admire him. I respect him tremendously. But I heard what he said. You know, President, I heard what you said, man. Like, come on. That's why I really don't get into politics. I'm into people, because politicians they play the political game, and he was here and had to play the political game. So they have
What did he say?
Players.
Yeah, what
more
did he
than
say?
2 good players.
Yeah,
you're
going
here,
back
so you had
again.
to support that. And what he said, they won the last 3 meetings or 2 meetings, something like that. He did his homework. Somebody gave him some great statistics. But President, come on, man, you my man. I love you. I appreciate you. But come on, dog. God bless you. I still love you.
What did he say? What did he say?
Okay.
What did he say?
If you had listened,
he was at
if you had listened, you would have heard what he had to say.
He was
Go ahead,
saying that golfers like to take showers with other golfers, and they got packages, and some guys will say, "Whoa, we." That's all he was talking about.
Here we go with that again.
Okay,
Trump
excuse
is a
me.
weirdo.
Todd was just saying what
he went
former President Trump said, but what was Deion Sanders saying?
Or not?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I thought I was going crazy. I'm sitting here like, what? I thought I was. No,
We can hardly hear you going in and out, though.
I don't know. Maybe that's the headphones. But he was in Arizona at a campaign stop before the Arizona-Colorado game. So to hype up the crowd, he said, of course, you guys are going to win and beat Colorado this weekend. Heard they got a few good players. But he didn't even say it in a way to where he was trying to say they only have 2 good players.
No.
So it's kind of weird that Deion would say that, because they actually do only have 2
Yeah. He's desperate for attention sometimes, like Keith and his boy toy.
But yeah, that's Deion's guy. So he was happy to make it a moment, and never forget, Deion is one of the greatest at catching the camera and catching a moment and understanding media and everything else.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow tricked his way into the Cowboys job next year. Deion is amazing at promoting himself and figuring things out.
So then, let me ask you this: if he tricks his way into the Cowboys, my question to you is this: does that mean his sons will graduate and then he can have them play for the Cowboys?
I mean, one son, the other son is not getting drafted. The other son, maybe he'll make a team, but the quarterback, Shador, he'll be drafted by somebody. I can see Deion convincing Jerry to buy into it, but the other part is Deion doesn't actually call plays. So he's not a coach. He's more CEO coach like some of these other guys. So I don't know how well that would go for the Dallas fans.
Wow, I didn't know that about Deion. I thought he was a coach.
I think it would go well because if you think about Dallas, the coaches don't call any plays anyway. The owner does, and that's why they always.
I know he does not. The owner doesn't call any plays.
He calls the plays, and that's why they lose.
No, he doesn't. Jerry Jones does not call the plays.
Jerry got a bat phone on the sideline. So every once in a while, he call in and let them know something.
I think he calls the plays myself.
You would think so, as bad as they've been, yeah, but not really.
Ready to play again after his latest concussion injury. He spoke out yesterday for the first time after spending a month on the sidelines. CBS Saturday Morning co-host Dana reports on his return and the risk he is willing to take to keep playing the game that he loves.
Run for the first down and takes a shot.
Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was last seen on the football field more than a month ago, laying down for several minutes after a collision that led to his third concussion in as many seasons.
Assisted off the field with a slight limp.
But after sitting out the past 4 games, Tagovailoa is ready to return.
I'm excited.
The 26-year-old said Monday that several medical experts had cleared him to restart practice this week. And barring a major setback, face off against the Arizona Cardinals Sunday. But in his comeback, Tagovailoa said he will not wear a set of large soft pads known as a guardian cap over his helmet.
Nope. Why? Personal choice.
According to NFL research, guardian caps absorb the force of a hit by at least 10%. This is the first year the league has allowed the caps to be worn during regular season games. But so far, less than a dozen NFL players have competed in the pads. According to an anonymous poll from The Athletic, nearly 60% of surveyed players oppose guardian caps in games, most citing the extra weight on their heads.
Every time we all suit up, we're all taking a risk that we could potentially get hurt. There's just risk in any and everything. And I'm willing to play the odds. That's it.
To anyone worried about his future, Tagovailoa made his position clear.
I love this game, and I love it to the death of me.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Dana Jacobson.
Wow.
Man, that's a scary thought.
Stacey, who do you look call?
He loves it to the death of him, and it just may be the death of him.
Right. So we can't see you. And since you started, why don't you
We got a lot of echo.
Well, I said, that's, your words are very important. Words that we say, that we speak over ourselves. And that's one area that I do understand in self-defense is your words. They have meaning. They have power when you speak words over yourself like that. And say it just may be the death of you. Huh?
Put your camera on.
I am on. I'm right here.
No, you're not.
All right.
Hello.
Well, we're getting out anyway. Yeah, we have to go. It's been fun, but these weirdos are too much for me.
We're getting the reverb from Keith, and Keith, we also don't see you. There's no video.
Well, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Right, but we get reverb from your audio.
I don't know. I see myself. Anyway, I said what I said. Let me just at least go on the record and saying, your words have very powerful meaning. And he said that it could be the death of him. It could be to the death of him that he wants to play. That's not a very positive statement, but I hope it is not. I hope it's not. I hope it's not to his death. Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah. I hope that. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, but it's a lot of echo because your boy toy has got an Obama phone and it's messing everybody up.
I was hoping he was going to retire. I don't think he should play anymore. It's not worth it. He already has millions of dollars that are guaranteed to him. He doesn't need to play anymore. He needs to retire. Even though I could be selfish because of my fantasy football team, I have Tyreek Hill, who is my number one pick at wide receiver. And I wish he would, would come back and play because nobody else obviously can throw the ball to my man. But I don't want him to play anymore because I know too many people have had too many head injuries and end up dying because of it. And I don't want Tua to die prematurely of it. And he has millions of dollars that will help generations of his family live forever. Why would he ever put his brain through that again, through any more trauma? Because he's an idiot. And I have no respect for him if he plays again.
Okay. See how crazy he is? He goes to extremes. I can't with this nut job.
It's not extreme because he's had too many head traumas. If you knew about football.
Do you want to talk about your Washington team this week, please, real quick?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Washington is so good. I know we just beat a team that was no good, but we lost our quarterback for at least a couple weeks, maybe more. He had a rib injury, but the entire team is solid. We are doing so well. We are on the top of the heap right now.
Rib injury. He should retire. He's an idiot.
Listen, Todd. A rib injury is not the same as a head injury, and it's an accumulative thing. Every time you hit your head and have another problem, it makes it worse for the next time. If you have a rib injury, that's your rib. It's not your head. I have people in my life that have had head injuries that did not recuperate, Todd. You got to take care of your head, and that's what I want Tua to do. That's all I'm saying. He's had too many concussions, and you don't know much about football, but if you knew, he had too many concussions, and he's very vulnerable right now. He can't take another head injury, and he's vulnerable for it. But he could live with millions of dollars. He could live with millions of dollars.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacey.
Cousin Todd on NFL, and then we have close us out on NFL.
Okay, on the NFL, I'm going to take the Dodgers. Now, also, what does Keith have on? I mean, Steven, what does he have on? Just some weird blue thing. Don't do that. Oh, okay, it's a sweater. Oh gosh, don't put it back on. Put it back on.
Look, I want you to be able to read my shirt. Can you read it?
The joke.
Can you read the shirt?
Yes. My name is Steven and I'm an alcoholic. Is that what it
says? No, it says I've got a black belt in crazy.
Oh. Okay. I believe you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you for interpreting my shirt. Right. I have a black belt. In crazy. Don't come at me.
Just real quick. When you're somebody of age who's on this show, you realize how, as a person, anything can happen, and injuries, things like that, are dangerous. But when you're 25, you have a certain invincibility about yourself. You think in certain ways, and then you got to just think about how somebody is how they identify. So when you identify yourself as a football player, the way that Tua has dedicated the majority of his life to it, is really not that surprising that some people are saying, well, just take the money and retire. Well, that's not a life worth living to him at this stage in life. Later on, he would probably be more mature and make a different decision. But at this point in life, being a quarterback, being a somebody, to a certain degree, means a lot to him. And his identity is wrapped up in all of the things that football has provided for him. So I'm not surprised that he's coming back. Yeah, it's really dangerous. I hope nothing bad happens to him. And I wish he would have made a better decision. But yeah, this is his life, and this is the risk he wants to take, sadly. But
Right.
at 25, how many of us would do different?
You're right.
None of
You're
us.
right. You're right, Nas.
And-
You're right. You're right.
And not only the age 25, everybody's invincible at
Right.
Right.
But
You're right. Yeah, I know. I understand it
but for
completely.
him
I
not
just
to
wish he
wear
would
that-
go the other
Thank
way
you.
and think
Thank
about his
you.
brain.
But for him
Okay,
not to
you're
wear
out of
that
time. On
extra
no,
helmet
Todd, you
is
wait.
dumb.
On
Yeah.
did you want to talk about the Dirty Birds of the South before you
No, I think
leave?
we need to go and close this dumpster fire of a show. There's
Oh.
way too much time for people of low IQ to speak.
Man.
I didn't say anything bad. I just let it go because I figured, man, we got to be careful with mentally ill people, man. We can't just be, talking reckless to them. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
Well,
I'm gonna
vote
be
for
a nice
Kamala,
guy.
I'd like
and
to
you will
say
be one of the
but,
mentally
to
ill
the
people.
go to the Birds, the Eagles. Eagles won. Hopefully we can keep this up next week. It was a sloppy win, but a win is a win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a win is definitely a
You
win.
beat the Giants. Relax, Stacey. You beat the Giants. Relax.
All right. To our
Well,
first responders
wait.
in our
Before we get
communities.
out, before we leave, I just wanted to say,
Of course you do.
Stephen, the shiny-eyed monkey, Keith
I'm a monkey.
is a porch monkey. Where's your boy toy? Oh well, never mind.
All right.
I'm
To
dead.
our
Let the
first
camera
Okay.
responders,
Thank you,
to
Stacy.
our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the women and men in the U.S. military for all that you do and sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose on this show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, the voice of reason,
Nigerian Mounted Republican who didn't even show up.
Keith, the
Again.
constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker, on. We really appreciate you joining us on, and my cousin Todd, who wouldn't stop talking. I'm Stacey Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going on X, on Twitch, on Instagram at Sporlitiks, on TikTok. You can find us at sporlitiks.com. On YouTube, please like and subscribe to our Sporlitiks channel. Remember, Sporlitiks started in 2011.
And also another thing is look for
There we go.
Sporlitiks, not to be confused with this new thing that stole our identity, and it's called Sporlitiks. No R.
Yep.
That's thievery. But this is the thing. No good comes to thieves. So
Right on, brother.
Don't do that. So, what do you have to say about that, Stephen? Now, be careful. Don't go crazy.
I'm not going to go crazy. What I'm going to say is, it's like it's a form of flattery because they've obviously seen the show and they want to take something from us because they see so much in us. So they have to be like us. So they take our name. But they skew it up a little bit. I'm not saying anybody's name that does it. It's just really.
That's
It's just really sad, and it's just this is how people do. Nobody can be original anymore. This is something that Stacey did that was original, and I love original. That's everything that's unique or original is what drives me towards that place. And then somebody wants to take what you've done and steal it, steal your words, steal your thing from you. It's just so lame and so weak. And it's good. Should be somehow we can team up all together and make this better and go after them, that they don't do this to us, because this is our thing. We've all been a part of this. As much as we've been against each other, we are together. We are one.
Thank you. Good night, and we'll see you next week.